5-year-old girl on at least 2 occasions was sexually molested on 2 different occasions by 2 different other students. Under circumstances that the caretakers, the supervisors, should have protected, and after the first incident should have been more conscious of the potential harm. Our concern here, on behalf of the parents who were filing this claim today, essentially say that caretaker unit was negligent in their protection of this minor, in that they did not have proper supervisions, they did not have proper guidelines, they did not have a protocol in place in order to ensure that children are safe, and that particularly very small, to use a term that's common now, of a tender age, are not being subjected to immoral, illegal, sexual abusive conduct. That did not happen in this case. And so the mother and father have decided to take matters into their own hands and to at least bring this issue forward in some kind of structured way, so that the issues around here are identified, and that the government, that the responsible parties, take action to ensure that safety protocol is in place. This is as bad a situation that one can have in terms of sending your child to school and that child being sexually abused by another child. And so we're bringing this claim today to, one, identify what those issues are in terms of the conduct that should have taken place, and obviously to look to see eventually what kind of damages this child has suffered. And equally significant is the family. I mean, the mother and father who have sent their child off in a protected environment to find out that while she was there, she was being traumatized. Now, since it has come to us, my office, we have looked and determined and found out that this issue of child abuse, being unreported, people not being held responsible, is a bit of a nationwide issue. And this case is really the tip of an iceberg that identifies children up to the age of 18 around the country on naval basis who are being subjected to not only child abuse but sexual assaults, and no one is being held accountable. And it doesn't appear that the various law enforcement agencies and or military agencies have taken any kind of action to protect the children. In this particular case, this matter should have been referred out immediately to the Department of Children and Family Services, to the police department. There's a real responsibility in the state of California that a child abuse issue is to be reported immediately. That was not done. The fact that it's on a military base in and of itself does not prevent that rule from being in effect. These were civilians, therefore they're not governed by military law. These are individuals who are from a community. They may work here, but they're civilians, and they are governed by the laws of the state of California, and protected by the laws of the state of California, and protected also by federal law. And so our view is that the departments here, or the agency here, has a responsibility to put forth conditions, protocol, rules that protect children, and immediately hold people responsible who engage in the conduct, either the perpetrator or the supervisors who have the responsibility to prevent this from occurring. So, to us, this is a major issue, not only for this particular child, but to all the children around military bases who are not being protected when they are being sexually abused, either by other students, other kids, and or by adults. But it is particularly outrageous to have a very small child of a tender age being abused not once, but twice, and no conduct, no activity taking place to get to the bottom of it. More recently, some activity is taking place, but only after it became public, and we are not going to allow for that to be the only mechanism available to the family, because history has demonstrated around the country that the military may, at first blush, or the police may, at first blush, talk about it, but at the end of the day, do nothing. And this allows for us to do something to at least monitor this conduct and to find out ultimately not only what went wrong here, but what can be done. So our position here is that negligence took place, that this child was sexually abused, molested on more than one occasion by another student, another minor on two, not the same minor, two different minors on two different occasions. And the first one, she was yelling and screaming, which should put everyone on notice, but apparently it was not reported to the proper authority. So this is something that has to be brought to light, and we're here at this moment to do exactly that. But first, I'd like to bring forward the parents here, and they will talk to you about it. Robinson. Welcome.
First of all, let's say thank you for everybody being here on our behalf. And for me, this is a really upsetting case. I chose the military base for my daughter to attend here. One, because I was a military child myself. I felt that this was the safest place for her to be at. We both worked on the base until I fell ill because of the incident that happened on the base. But we felt that this would be the safest place for her. And for me to go to pick her up and then to tell me, I didn't even get the call. They called her at her job and tried to explain some things, but not fully detailed information as to what happened. And when I go to pick her up, then they want to sit me down and explain, some issues that happened. I'm not told exactly who it was, what the issue was, and I had to ask my daughter, who then came forward and told me what happened. From then, every day I asked for an incident report to be made, and that didn't happen. It took almost a month for them to tell me about that first incident to come forward. And so we felt like we weren't being adequately adhered to. So then we took it into our own hands and we had to take it to the next level. And they have a chain of command that goes forward. And so we took it to the flight chief. And the flight chief then explained to the mother that our daughter was not a victim, and that the facility might have been too big for her, and that she's the common denominator. And so we took it the next step. We took it to the deputy director. And when we got to the deputy director, he allowed me to know that they are fully aware that the bathrooms have been an incident or an issue for a long time. I've asked for a hall monitor to be put in place. I've asked for my 5-year-old daughter to be separated and to not be around these children. I've asked for them to watch her, and for the second incident to come forward, let me further note that they were not adequately paying attention to my daughter. For her to be missing in this facility for over an hour, being assaulted for over an hour, is outrageous. That's beyond my comprehension as a parent. We have adults in this facility that are supposed to be watching these kids, ages 5 to 12, preteen, which I don't really even feel that that's even necessary. What business does a 12-year-old have doing with a 5-year-old? I don't feel that's appropriate. But then after she made her Facebook post, that's when they wanted to come forward and start trying to make things happen. But they weren't really concerned about my daughter. They were more concerned about, will you take the Facebook post down? But where's the concern for my child? You see, in all of this, they're not there when my baby's crying to me, asking me, Daddy, am I a weirdo? Asking me, Daddy, is this okay for a girl to kiss another girl? That's adult stuff that people make choices when they get older. It has no business being in a 5-year-old's mind. It has no business being around a 5-year-old or for her being taught that type of information. And this is really beyond my scope. It's really beyond my comprehension that these people would not do anything until we had to fully make a Facebook post to get things to happen. We weren't allowed or alerted to a town hall meeting. The Facebook post was removed from the military wives page, almost like a, hush and be quiet. And I don't have to hush and be quiet. That's not my position. My position as a father is to protect my children, to protect my family.
I'm just so upset that this whole situation could have been prevented. They just didn't care. They were just worried about taking that video down. I just don't understand, for the simple fact that I've worked here for 6 years at the Child Development Center, and that none of the policies or procedures were done on my daughter's behalf. We are not going to be quiet about this. And all the other parents out there that have experienced the same thing that we have went through, to come on and come forth, because the military shouldn't be allowed to keep things like this in the dark. Military wives are hushed and have to be quiet because they're afraid that retaliation on their husbands will be taking place if they were to come out publicly with it. They try to keep everything on hush. We don't need to keep anything on hush. These are our children. We need to fight for our children. We have to do something about this. They can no longer do this. No child never should have to go through what our daughter went through.
My name is Jamila, and Land, and I am this child's godmother. I was notified by her parents a few days ago as to a Facebook post that had been put up. As her father has explained, they have gone through numerous channels to try to get some resolution. It was not until this Facebook post was placed that the military wives then began to disseminate it amongst their pages, that the family was notified that Lieutenant Colonel Williams wanted to have a meeting with them. I attended this meeting with the mother, at which time we addressed our concerns, and we got the